Noor is just a child standing on a normal apartment balcony when the concrete gives way. He doesn't hit the pavement. Instead, he plunges directly into a dark, cavernous tunnel woven from glowing biological roots. Reality hasn't just broken, it has been replaced. Deep within the roots, Noor finds Tinko. A thick, woody tree trunk erupts from the base of her neck, its roots burrowing under her skin and wrapping around her spine. She is a living host for the environment itself. This labyrinth hunts through observation. It monitors the children, waiting for a flicker of fear or a memory of a real-world trauma to surface. Once it finds a crack in their psyche, it forces them to hallucinate those moments on a loop. Succumbing to the memory triggers a rapid biological transformation. The parasitic seed inside the child sprouts, aggressively consuming their flesh and hardening into bark until they are absorbed into the structural walls of the maze. Noor, Tinko, and a third companion, Sita, must navigate this root system while trying to understand the nature of an entity that builds an entire world out of childhood neglect and pain. In this ecosystem, hesitation is converted into timber. To stop moving or to look back at the past is to invite the roots to finish their work. As the children push toward the center, the scale of the labyrinth shifts. Narrow tunnels expand into massive, echoing vaults that stretch for miles beneath the surface. This animated diagram reveals the labyrinth's nervous system. Glowing mycelial threads connect every tunnel and chamber, allowing the entire maze to communicate and adapt like a single, unified organism. Traumatic events are the energy source here. The network extracts the raw emotional frequency of a child's memory, funneling it down into a central root core to power the maze's expansion. The group chooses to intervene. They climb the roots and rip a trapped boy free from his pod, severing his connection to the pool. As the boy hits the ground, the surrounding roots shrivel, unable to maintain their grip without his input. The children realize the machine is a circuit. They have just found a way to short it. Their rescue effort leads them to Rourke. He is an older boy who has been fully incorporated into the tree's mass, yet he remains conscious. Unlike the others, he has learned to exert a degree of control over the roots themselves. Rourke exists at the intersection of biology and data. By merging with the labyrinth while keeping his mind intact, he has become a living part of the system's memory, holding the records of how this place first sparked into life. Guided by Rourke, the children reach the center. The organic walls give way to a sterile scientific laboratory, pierced by massive tree roots that have physically merged with the consoles and equipment. This was the facility of a grieving botanist. After his pregnant wife died in a tragic accident, he dedicated his life to an experiment that defied nature. As shown in this schematic, he attempted to use plant stem cells to infiltrate her remaining bones, hoping the adaptable biology would rebuild her lost neural pathways and restore her consciousness. The botanist successfully built the biological hardware for a resurrection engine, but without a spark of life to activate it, the machine sat inert and cold beneath the earth for years. The system only booted up when a young boy named Rourke, terrified and fleeing the death of his own mother, wandered into the abandoned lab and fell asleep on the experimental roots. This diagram illustrates the fatal connection. Rourke's traumatized subconscious provided the software. His nightmare acted as the code that finally activated the botanist's dormant resurrection machine. The maze is a nightmare made of wood and bone, a child's grief given physical mass by a grieving man's failed technology. To break the cycle, Noor, Tinko, and Sita stop running. They embrace the bark-covered Rourke, sharing the burden of his grief. A burst of purifying light expands from their contact, waking Rourke from his decades-long slumber. Unprocessed pain acts as a seat that builds prisons for ourselves and those around us. The only way out of the labyrinth is to wake up